to Tinkering with Gever. I'm Gever, and I'm here 4 days a week tinkering in my workshop and sharing new ideas with you. I hope you've enjoyed our previous episodes. This week, the materials that we'll need are markers. You'll need a compass. This is one of the compasses we built in the last episode, so you can see instructions on how to build that. And some tape, of course, and some kind of knife. We got a few cuts to make, simple things. And if you want to join us, pause the video, go collect those materials, and then we'll get ready. We're going to start off our show this week with a visit from Dr. Nature.
Oh, hi Gever. Welcome back to the laundry room laboratory. I heard that you are on a circle search, and I'd like to go on this adventure with you. I'm sure there's something here in the lab that has circles. Spheres, definitely, and discs, actually. Discs. There's something I collected today that has discs that it uses to reproduce. It's a lichen, and they have something called an apotheca. And lichens grow on trees and rocks. You may have seen them. I'm sure one has exactly what we're looking for. Well, I didn't find what I wanted to show you, but I'm not going to give up that easy. Let's look on the back porch and see if there's any mushroom discs out there. Now this stump usually has what I'm looking for. Let's see. Oh yeah, there they are. But they're pretty dried out. Let's see underneath this bromeliad pot. Alright. Oh, there you have it. Yes, that is exactly what we're looking for. You see those little discs? Those are made by a mushroom. And those little arthropods that are crawling all around are very interesting too. How neat. I made it to this little parklet by my house. So let's see if I find any of the little lichen discs I'm looking for. Not too many lichen out here. Oh, here's some circles. Spheres. Little flower buds. Yeah, those are circles, Gever. Lichens in here. I've been looking everywhere. I'm not finding what I'm looking for. But I bet I have some more interesting things with circles back at the house. Let's go look. Look inside the nano tank and see if we find any circles. Oh, well, here, the shrimp, its eyes definitely circles. And this snail also seems to have circles all over its shell. Who do we have here? This little baby snail also seems to be circular. You can see internal organ movement. Its shell is clear. That's amazing. This circle search has really proven to be fruitful in ways I never expected. Gever, thank you for letting me join you on your circle search. I hope you enjoyed this digital postcard. We didn't exactly find the circles we were looking for, but we found a lot of other cool things. Well, goodbye from the laundry room laboratory. Until next time, see ya.
Okay, that was great. It makes me think that we might be able to find similar things here. So let's go out in the yard and see what we can find. Kind of a circle treasure hunt. Dr. Nature found some interesting things, but he lives in a city and I live out in the country. So I wonder what we can find just looking around in my yard that might have circles in it. I think that we can probably find some pretty cool stuff, but we might have to look really closely. I wonder if we can find a circle. So here's a flower that has its petals arranged in a circle, but it's not quite a perfect circle. Let's see, maybe that's just that flower. That one's a little better. Yeah. So not everything is a circle. Some things are just kind of circular. Like if we look at this leaf, it's kind of circular, but it's missing a section. What can we find that's a complete circle? Here's another kind of leaf. This is called miner's lettuce. It's actually edible. And it has a little flower in the middle of a semicircular leaf, but not perfectly circular. Let's keep looking. Oh, here's another good example of that almost circular leaf. What I think is interesting about this leaf is you can see 1, 2 sort of little red points on here. Yeah, every one of the leaves has a little red point, has 2 red points on it. Even this one, which is very circular. Yeah, we'll have to keep looking. This is a kind of a weed that grows in our yard, and once summer comes it can be quite sharp. Right now it feels like it's made out of rubber, but I'm going to see if we take a look at the stem of this plant, the way we were looking at that branch, and see if there's a circle there. So I'm going to make a cut. Let's get this aimed. Camera pointed at where I'm working. Yeah. And then it's already getting a little bit prickly, but let's cut it down here at the stem and see what we find. So it has a very milky liquid in it, like a sap, that probably when the plant is wounded, that comes out and helps seal the wound and protect the plant. But that is really wet. Let's wipe that off with a little bit of a... And I think we can already see it's not quite a circle. It's pretty circular, but it's not a really round circle. I think one of these broken tree branches might have just what we need inside of it. Let's cut this break off and see if we can find the circles we're looking for. Just take a look at this. This tree has only been fallen down for a few months, and it's already covered with little mushrooms and covered in vines. But I think if we just cut it right here, we might be able to find what we're looking for. Okay, I'm just about to make the last cut here, and we'll be able to see what's inside. Aha! Okay, let's take a look. So this is just a branch, it's not a tree, but we can actually tell how old that this branch is at this point in its life. I'm going to make one more cut so that we have a chunk of this that we can look at back in the workshop. We've got our circular chunk of a branch that we can go and have a closer look at, and just have a look around at the jungle around my house. This time of year, with all those recent rains, everything has turned green. Let's just walk around and see if we find anything else that, if we looked at it more closely, we might find more circles. I have another plant here that seems to come and go with the season. I have no idea what this plant is called, but it has a much rounder looking stem. So let's have a look at that. Make a cut. All right, let's have a look at this. And I just noticed our plant has a little creature on it. Kind of a golden silvery insect of some type. We might have to get that under the microscope and have a look. The wind is being a problem. So that's a pretty good circle too. Let's take that inside. Okay, I've become obsessed, very curious about this beetle that we found, and I'm going to try and see if we can get a better look at it. Wow. Look at the texture on the beetle and the leaf. Gently. Wrong way. Oh, look at him. Look at that little beetle. Well, that's amazing. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little closer. Huh. Oh, he put a whisker out. Here he comes. He's waking up. Well, thank you, Mr. Beetle. Well, thank you, Mr. Beetle, for letting us take a look at you. Now I'm going to put you back in the plant that we found you. Stepping over the dog bed, going out to the porch, open the gate. Oh, he's waking up completely. And I'm just going to put this leaf in the same kind of plant and let it find its way back to where it wants to be. Okay. I love poking around in the yard. All right, let's take a closer look at this. I'll just put it over here where we can see it. This branch that we cut a piece off of is, first off, has a couple of different kinds of lichen growing on here, which Dr. Nature was mentioning. And if you look carefully, there's this one, which is purple. It's almost invisible because it's almost the same color as the bark. But you can see these little pieces of it here. And this is called a Spanish moss. It's not actually a moss, but it's called Spanish moss. And this is a lichen. And that's some sawdust from cutting. But what we're interested in today are these rings right here. And I think that if we count them, we can figure out how old this branch was at this point in its life. As you go further out the branch, there are fewer rings, but at this point in its life, we can figure out how many years old it was. Each one of these is a year. Each band is made, each darker band is made during the winter, and then you can see all the fast growth of the summer, and then a dense dark section from the winter, from the slower growth, and that's how we can count, because these rings are made by the passage of the sun and how many hours of sunlight the tree has during that part of its growth. So let's have a look here and count them. Okay, so counting from the inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, these ones are hard to see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I think. 22 years old. Well, that's our show for today. It was so fun poking around out in the yard. Thank you, Dr. Science, for sending us such a nice postcard from your laboratory and sending us on such a good adventure out in the woods. As ever, remember to take care of each other, be nice to yourself, and remember, the biggest playground in the world is the one right up here. You've always got room to play and roam, and you keep it with you always. Take care of yourself. Have a good night. We'll see you in the next episode.